Hey y'all, good morning. Hey everybody. I'm Mrs. Keys. As most of you know, I'm the Director of Belonging, and I've been here since November 29th. So I'm your chapel speaker today. Indulge me for a few minutes. I am taking myself on an all expenses paid trip by me to Rosemary Beach on 38 for Valentine's Day weekend. This trip will be my first solo Valentine's Day in over a decade. And honestly, I could not be more excited. I have ordered books, queued up all of my favorite true crime podcasts, and even ordered a weighted blanket for all of the couch sitting I'll be doing. While most people prefer to go to the beach when it's warm, I have always found beauty in the perfect stillness of the beach in the off-season. Except for the impulsivity of crashing waves that stir to correct an imbalance, the beach in winter humbly showcases its beauty. And also, if I'm being honest, the idea of being on a crowded beach in a bathing suit when it's 100 degrees is antithetical to my idea of a relaxing vacation. If COVID has taught me anything, is that I'm #team sweatpants. In doing my research for this trip, I was overwhelmed by the endless number of beach towns along 38. Inlet Beach, Dune Allen, Seaside, Watercolor, Santa Rosa, so many beautiful beaches with pure white sand and turquoise water wider and deeper than one can imagine. Anyone who has ever planned a getaway knows that planning a trip is no vacation. Pause for laughter, anybody? No, we'll keep going. Where will I stay? Airbnb or hotel? What will I eat? Is there a coffee maker? What time is check-in? What activities are available? As someone who takes great joy in planning, I have written out my list of what to pack, sweatpants mostly, set an alarm for the morning of my departure with a list of things not to forget, and scheduled an email to remind me to check the weather 3 days before my trip. I have planned where I will stop for gas. I have also identified 2 alternative places to stop for gas, just in case the places that I have chosen are sketchy. I have made extra arrangements for my son Parker, who would be with his father, and I have promised my mom over and over again that I will not willingly allow myself to be kidnapped. In the grand traditions of mothers of all eras, my mom is a gold medal worrier. If worrying were an Olympic race, sign up my mom Daisy for the last leg, she'll bring home the gold. Though I pride myself on embracing a Hakuna Matata way of life, I am still my mother's daughter. Therefore, I try my best to avoid situations that will make me worry unnecessarily and spaces that by design are not welcoming to all people. So before deciding on Rosemary Beach for my solo vacation, I did countless hours of research. In my research, I asked the Google machine the variety of questions that I always ask before planning a trip. What is the average temperature there this time of year? How many days of rain does this town get? What is the crime rate? What is the walkability rating? How many black people are there? Before I plan my trip to any unfamiliar place, I take great care to see if a black family, or in this case, a solo black female traveler, will feel comfortable there. I stand before you today, a well-educated, nicely dressed, articulate black woman who works at one of the most prestigious schools in the Southeast. Yet today in 2022, I still worry about being confronted by racism. Think about how experiences are different for others simply because they are Asian, or Jewish, or Muslim, or agnostic, or a scholarship girl in a private school world. How are experiences that some of us take for granted different for them? These thoughts are difficult and uncomfortable. However, when we shy away from discussing negative experiences and uncomfortable topics, we eliminate the opportunity to speak about growth and positive experiences. You see, for every negative experience I've ever had with a white person, I've had 3 times as many positive experiences. When my white professor at UT forced me to sit in front of her and rewrite a paper because she thought I had plagiarized my original essay, my white suite mate immediately called her dad after I told him how humiliated I was. Her dad made a phone call, That professor was forced to give me a written and verbal apology. When I gave birth to my son, Parker, at Methodist Germantown in 2015, a white nurse asked me if I was on welfare in a very random context of questions. But at that exact same hospital, a white NICU nurse, Miss Candy, went out of her way to get my hospital stay extended by 2 days so that I would not have to go home from the hospital without my newborn baby. On my first ever beach trip to Myrtle Beach, I went with a group of fellow student leaders from UT Knoxville. I was the only black person on the trip. When a white guy about our age walked by and said, "I see y'all brought a darkie," 6 mostly scrawny white boys confronted and berated the guy and then proceeded to profusely apologize to me, even though they had done nothing wrong. Without a doubt, black women have been the most influential group of women in my life, period. From my mom to my mentor, to my high school teachers, to my sorority sisters, black women have molded me. Nonetheless, so many other allies, particularly white women, who have shown up for me have done so consistently, lovingly, and selflessly. Whenever I get to rest and see one of my black friends fighting for me and for other people of color and other minorities, I'm reminded of this quote from Dr. King. "History will have to record that the greatest tragedy of this period of social transition was not the strident clamor of bad people, but the appalling silence of the good people." All these decades later, we are still in the social transition of racism and prejudice in America. But my friends, my friends have not been silent. Moreover, so many of you sitting in this room right now, you have not been silent. You stand up for your friends. I am so encouraged by you. This room is filled with a diverse group of good people, the good people for which Dr. King had the highest of expectations. Future leaders with strong values and good hearts. Regardless of our race, religion, gender identity, or economic background, we are all so blessed to be here, every last one of us. We are among the good people. We must not remain silent. We cannot remain silent. It is our responsibility to drown out the strident clamor of bad people. For as Dr. King once said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." This MLK weekend and beyond, stand up for your friends, speak up when you see racism, be good people who use their voices to do the good work. I love y'all. Thank you.